Hello class, I welcome you all to this session. This session we are going to discuss about the modern approach. In the previous videos we have discussed the traditional approach. We have also worked out some problems related to traditional approach. Now we are going to learn modern approach and how it's going to work. We are going to learn. This is very simple to understand, very easy to apply. Suppose you don't understand the traditional approach, you can very well apply this approach to find out the correct answer. So this works really good. So modern, but as an accounting student you should know both the approaches. So we will be applying both the approaches in our the entire process of accounting, that is journalizing, ledger, transferring it to the posting it to the ledger, and transferring to the trial balance, and after that trial balance you need to transfer it to your trading P&L as well as your balance sheet. So the entire process will be this. So modern approach, we can be classifying the asset accounts as asset account, expenses account, capital account, liabilities account, and revenue account. As if you remember, I told you to understand one word called as dealer. Okay, D is for drawings. So I'm just writing it here. Drawings, expenses, asset, liability, equity, revenue. This is what the term stands for. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to merge certain terms. Now drawings and equity we are going to merge. These two can be represented in one particular account called as capital. Okay, this can be called as capital. Other terms and all, asset, expenses, liability, and revenue is here. So we are going to just learn one simple thing. If asset increases, it needs to be debited. If asset decreases, it needs to be credited. So I just made a mistake here. Just write decreases. So just write here decreases. Okay, not if it is decreasing, then credited. Then moving forward to expenses, these two you have the same thing same logic to apply. If asset increases or expenses increases, you need to debit it. If asset decreases or expenses decreases, you need to credit it. The opposite will stand good for this three accounts: capital, liability, and revenue. If it decreases, you need to debit it. If it increases, you need to credit it. So this rule, if capital decreases or liability decreases or revenue decreases, you need to debit it. If capital increases, liability increases, or revenue increases, you need to credit it. Now capital, I am just representing two things here: drawings and equity in my dealer formula. Okay, so so you need to understand this. So capital, liability, and revenue decreases debit, increases credit. Okay, so this forms an accounting equation. See, asset is equal to capital plus liability. Now this will be the accounting equation. In the chapter called as accounting equation, we will be dealing with this approach fully. Okay, so we will be doing some problems related to this approach also. So say for example, now I hope that you can see these transactions. Mohan started business with cash, purchased goods for cash, sold goods for cash and received interest from Ram in cash. So if you can remember that I have taken the same entries which we applied the traditional approach to solve this, and we also prepared the journal entry. So we are going to use the modern approach to get the same answer. So we are going to use, previously we used the traditional approach. Now we are going to use the modern approach to get the same answers. You just see how it works. Now the two accounts that we have to identify here is Mohan, who is actually contributing to our business, so it is called as capital. Okay, so capital, and also he is contributing with cash. Okay, so capital and cash are two approaches. Now capital increases or decreases. Obviously capital is increasing and cash is also increasing. Am I right? So capital is also increasing, cash is also increasing. If capital increases, you need to credit it. If cash, that is asset, cash is an asset which increases, you need to debit it. So I am just debiting this cash account debit to capital account. So I am just writing 5 lakhs. I hope that this is clear, because capital is being contributed into the business. Capital வந்து business குள்ள வருது. 5 lakhs என்றது வந்து business குள்ள வருது. So it is, capital is increasing. Previously there is no something called as capital. Previously the capital was 0. After Mohan contributed, the capital became how much? 5 lakhs. So capital is increasing. Cash is also increasing, because previously the cash was 0. Now after Mohan has contributed, the cash has increased to the extent of 5 lakhs. So capital is what? Capital is here. No, it's coming in the balance sheet. It's coming in the liability side of the balance sheet. Okay, so so liability side. So capital is increasing, so it will be credited. Cash is also increasing. Cash is an asset, so increase in asset will be debited. Second transaction, purchase goods for cash, rupees 1 lakh. So I am identifying two account here, purchases account as well as cash account. If you are purchasing something, your purchasing is an expense, right? So expense goes high, it's increasing. Expenses increases to 1 lakh, so you need to debit it. Cash is decreasing because you have to pay cash. Cash should be given from your pocket to actually purchase something. If you want to purchase a pen like this, you need to pay 50 rupees or something. So cash reduces in your pocket, so cash is decreasing. If cash is an asset, if it decreases, it has to be credited. So what we are going to write is purchases account debit to cash account. So we will just cross check whether our entries is right. So in the previous thing we wrote it as cash account to capital account for the first transaction, and purchases account debit to cash account. The same thing we have got here also. So purchases account debit to cash account. Similarly we have sold goods for cash. Now I am having sales as well as I am having cash account. Now sales is a revenue. What is it? It is a revenue. Revenue is otherwise called as sales. So sales is a revenue. Now sales is increased to 1,50,000. It is 1,50,000, right, for cash. So when sales is increasing, you need to credit it. Cash is also increasing. Sales vanduchna enna, if you are selling something, you will receive money. So cash in your pocket will be high. In your galla petti will be high. So cash is 1,50,000. So cash is also increasing. Cash is an asset. If asset increases, you need to debit it. So I am writing the entry as cash account debit to sales account. So I am just differentiating this entries so that it will be very easy. So 1,50,000 here, 1,50,000 here. Here it is 1 lakh. 1 lakh and 1 lakh. So just try to understand how it works. Received interest from Ram in cash. Now received interest from Ram in cash. There are two entries here. Interest account, interest received account, then cash. Now interest, if you are receiving, if you have deposited some 1 lakh in your bank fixed deposit, at the rate of 10%, you will get an interest of 10,000 rupees. So like which he would have deposited, the business owner would have deposited some amount with Ram, and Ram is paying him interest in cash. So we are identified that interest received is what? It is a revenue. So revenue can be sales plus income, any income that you are going to receive. So sales and income. So if revenue, interest is high, it should be credited. Cash is also more, it should be debited. So interest is high, interest is income, income is going up, so credit. Cash is also, you are receiving 500 rupees, it's increasing. So when asset is increasing, you need to debit it. So what the entry will be is cash account debit to interest received account. Okay, so 500. I'm sure that you are able to understand this clearly. I hope that you are able to see this. Exercise 3. I'm going to work out some problem related to the modern approach. Classify the following into assets, liabilities, capital, revenue and expenses. So this is the question. So we are going to identify whether it is an asset, liability, capital, revenue or expenses. That's it. We are not going to check whether it is increased or decreased or whether it is to be debited or credited. It is the first step what we are going to do. So first one is the plant and machinery. We all know that plant and machinery is what? It is an asset. Bank loan, we have to pay money. So obviously it is a liability. Sales, it is a revenue. Rent, it is an expenses. Discount received, when we are receiving something, when discount is an income, when we are receiving, it is an income. So obviously it will come under revenue. Okay, then carriage inward is an expenses. Carriage inward is an expenses. Carriage outward is also an expenses. Carriage is nothing but the transportation cost. Transportation cost. So these are called as transportation cost. Carriage means transportation cost. Then purchases. Purchases is an expenses. Bills payable is a liability. How bills payable is a liability? It is a part of creditors. Okay, bills payable is a part of creditors. So obviously creditors means we have to pay money. We have to pay. So obviously it is a liability. Wages, it is an expenses. Wages, it is an expenses. Then you have advance income. Advance income, before we go into this, advance income, accrued income, prepaid rent, goodwill, furniture and fixture. We will solve this furniture and capital and then come back to these terms. So goodwill, we all know that it is an asset. It is a intangible asset, so it is it comes under asset. Furniture and fixture is also an asset. And then we have capital, which is a liabilities. So we have this liabilities here. Then I told you that we will come to this. So advance income. What do you mean by advance income? First you need to understand this term before you classify whether it is an asset or a liability or a capital or revenue or expenses. Okay. So advance income is nothing but unearned income, an income that is not being earned, which is not being earned, but it is received in advance. You have not earned the income, but you have received an advance. Say for example, you wanted to join uh, office, okay, join an office on 1st August. You want to join an office on 1st August. They have paid you an advance income. See, you are going with a merit and you are a rank holder and things like that. Say they have an advance income. So they have given you an advance of rupees 10,000 to join the office. So you have joined an office on 1st August. They have paid you advance in July. Okay. So it is called as an advance income. Okay. Right now you just remember this example. But when you are learning your final accounts, you will be learning these terminology and how these things are treated and all. So it is a liability, right? You didn't earn it. Without earning, you have just like that got. Till you earned it, it will be called as a liability. It will be difficult for you to understand this, but you have to somehow memorize this. Okay, later on you will be able to understand it. Okay, so advance income is an unearned income, an income that is being earned but is received. An income which is not being earned, it is not being earned, but it is received in advance. That is called as advance income. So it is a liability. So we can say that this is a liability. The next one is accrued income. See, accrued income is nothing but income earned during the accounting period but have not been received. It is the opposite of advance income. It is income earned. You have earned it, but you have not received it. Previously, you have not earned it, but you have received it. Here, you have earned it, but not received it. See, but have not been received till the end of the accounting period, and also called as outstanding income. It is called as what? Outstanding income. So it should be treated as asset. So we are taking it as asset. So we just learned two terms, that is advance income, accrued income. Okay, so advance income is nothing but income not earned but received. Okay, income that is not earned but received by you. Accrued income is income earned but not received. So this is what you need to understand with these terms, advance income and accrued income. Okay, so income earned but not received is called as accrued income. So this will be treated as asset because you already earned it. It is like an asset to you. It has to come, money has to come to you. But here you have already received the money. You have to, do the work. So it is like a liability. So this is one more difference between advance income, accrued income. So we know that accrued income is an asset, advance income is like a liability. Then prepaid rent. What is prepaid rent? It is an expense paid in advance. When expenses is paid in advance, obviously it turns into an asset because you have not enjoyed JOIED enjoyed its benefit. Okay, you have not enjoyed its benefit, so obviously it is an asset. Okay, so this is an asset. You have paid for it, but you have not enjoyed it. So you will enjoy it in the later point of time. So it is an asset. Outstanding expenses is nothing but expenses incurred during the year but have not been paid yet. So expenses incurred during the year, that is, you have consumed, say for example, electricity you have consumed, okay, and electricity bill comes but you didn't pay. Up to a point of time you can while away you have to pay interest. After a point of time they will just cut off the connection and go. That is a different. Till that period they will be charging you interest. So expenses incurred during the year, you have incurred during the year but you didn't pay, so it is called as outstanding. Okay, outstanding expenses is a liability, so we are taking this as liability. Okay, I'm sure that you are able to get this. Okay, so we will be doing one more problem related to modern approach in the next video. Thank you, class.